What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. And I just want to do a quick little update because I hear a lot of people talking about the price area of, like if we take a fib here, we'll take a fib, just to, general Fibonacci retracement tool from bottom to top. The 618 area is right there at $20,382. The 0.69 area, this like sweet spot area, it's right down there at $19,350. The low itself right here is at $19,560. A lot of people are calling for a bottom that is somewhere in this zone, okay? That's what a lot of people are calling for. And I do, like most people, I do think we go lower. But we could move higher first and then lower. We could just move lower. We could move sideways and then lower. Who really knows how this is going to play out? But I don't think we're going to go this low. I think we are going to hold, and this is why I just want to keep this video brief because I want to kind of like bring things back to earth. I think we're going to hold this area where we had a top here on a closing basis on the weekly, another top here, and then also that's right at the 382 area, right around $24,164. Give or take a couple $100 in either direction. We could go below the 382. I would think that we would at least touch it. I do think if we go below this low here that we would at least touch it, but we could go below it and still be fine. I wonder if we look on the daily. Delete this. Let's see. I mean, on the weekly you closed here, but then on this daily you found support here, right? You closed and then bounced off of it, right? You bounced off it again here. Tipped it right there. You closed right at it right here. If we go back, wick, a little bit of a close right around this area too. I think this line is somewhat significant enough, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it. I do hear everybody talking about this area though, and generally whenever you get something like that, and everybody is eager, they're so excited to buy down there, that tells me one of two things, and I'm hoping that it's the first one because the second one would be worse. The first thing, that we don't reach that price. We actually bottom higher than that price. We don't meet the expectation. Or the second possible thing is instead of bottoming above it, we actually just destroy it and go straight through it. And all the people that were excited to buy here are now sad that they bought there because they could have bought lower, which is also a possibility, but I don't think we're going to get that. I do think that it is possible we could go this low, but there's so much attention down there. I'm looking more on the idea that everybody could be wrong, or that everybody might, because everybody's looking at the same area, that this might get front run on a buying aspect, which would put it like potentially here. And I think that lines up very well. It does line up very well with this 382 from the low to the high. I'll draw it again. Bottom to top here, literally right there at the 382. And whenever you have a nice uptrend or a downtrend, it's very, very common to bounce off of the 382. Everybody talks about the 618, and yes, it's the golden ratio for a reason. It's a very common area to hit, and it's respected throughout more than just price action itself. The universe bows down to this golden ratio, like it really does, but that doesn't mean we have to hit it. So I definitely think that bouncing off the 382 and continuing to pursue prices higher after that would make sense to me. Throw that in, I was talking about the DXY earlier, but let's talk about it again. DXY, if we were to throw a correlation coefficient on it, I'm just going to take away both the RSIs because we don't need to look at it right now. Go to indicators here, technicals, go to C, where are we? Correlation coefficient, we put it on BTC USD on the index, the all-time history index, and apply it. And then if we look at this thing, on a monthly basis, you can see, first off, I think the dollar's going up, guys. I do think we're going to break these highs. I do think it's going to go higher. Will it go above this high? I don't know, but I think it is on its way up. Historically, that's not a good thing for risk-on assets, but it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing either, right? A lot of people make the misconception that Bitcoin does the opposite of what the dollar does, and I would say it does most of the time, but not always, okay? Here's what I mean. So correlation coefficient, we're actually becoming more, and you can see it here, you're not correlated at all. When the dollar's going down, I would bet you Bitcoin was going up. That's why it's not correlated. Now the dollar's moving up, and this is becoming more correlated to Bitcoin. So that means that the dollar and Bitcoin are moving up at the same time. It becomes less correlated, so Bitcoin probably started going down. But now you can see, again, if we're looking at this on a monthly basis, just looking at this, it looks like we go through phases of correlation, more correlation, and of decorrelation. The decorrelation phases, or uncorrelated phases, they are longer, definitely longer than the correlated phases, but it's not a straight line down. It's not completely opposite, right? And you can see this too, because if I compare it here, go to compare on our new price scale, put it in log, if I can, logarithmic, without getting too far into this. Let's just see. Come on now. Come on now. I'm gonna get the price itself. Zoom it, zoom it. Yeah. You can see that for basically all of Bitcoin's existence, right, it's been in an uptrend. Uptrend here, I'll zoom it in a little bit more. There we go. Been in an uptrend, and the dollar itself has also been in an uptrend for basically all of Bitcoin's existence. So even though they're not correlated, they've both been in uptrends, and they take different points of moving up than the, together. But you can see here, this move up right here on the dollar where it had its high here, it moved up along with Bitcoin, and that is where again you were gaining some correlation. And then it lost its correlation when Bitcoin was moving up to its all-time high, and the dollar started taking a shit. But then you gained your correlation again whenever, like, you really started to gain it here when you were just moving sideways, and Bitcoin was moving sideways too, slightly down. But then you lost your correlation when the dollar moved down, Bitcoin moved up. So here we are, at this phase where we are not that correlated at all. And I think that if the dollar, which I do think the dollar looks like it wants to go up from here, if the dollar is going to go up from here, and this thing is at a point where it might be done being decorrelated and actually starts to do a phase where it starts to correlate again to Bitcoin, that would actually mean that Bitcoin is probably going to go up on a month-to-month basis here fairly soon. So all that to say, round trip all the way back to Bitcoin here. Let's get it, BTC USD. All that to say, and of course this is going to be 100%, it's the same chart. I don't think that Bitcoin has that much downside to go, because I do think the dollar looks very strong right now. And that's on a month-to-month basis. So on a week-to-week basis, Bitcoin can do whatever. But overall, in the coming, I would say probably by the end of September, I think Bitcoin will find its low. And could it make its low all the way down at 20,000 by that time? Sure, it absolutely could. We went down 10.5% here in 1 week. If we were to go down 10.5% here, that's 1 week later, right? And then here, another 10.5%. That would take us down to like 20,800. It would only take 3 weeks at this current pace to get us down there. And that would definitely be by the end of September that we could do that. Sure, that could happen, but I don't know if it will. I would more expect that we do find a low somewhere around here. I think it's getting close to crunch time, being that we are potentially correlating more with the dollar, and the dollar looks like it wants to go up. I would say Bitcoin probably wants to go up. So I think if we find a low here, that would get things set up for more upside. But I could be wrong. It could go lower than this. It absolutely could. It might not even go that low, but I'm looking at this area, and this has been an overdrawn video on just saying that. Around somewhere around like $24,300, $24,100. And it could go a little bit lower. It could go just like a little bit higher, whatever, but I would expect, if anything, it goes a little bit lower than this area. So right around 24,300, probably closer to 24,000, but I have a few other reasons for that, and the reasons I've kind of just listed it all, so I'm not going to go over it again. If you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. I hope I didn't lose anybody at the end there. I kind of went on a tangent, but I hope I brought it back in a form that made sense. Anyways, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.